Welcome to Personal Development Mastery Podcast, where you will find both the inspiration to grow and the actions to implement towards your next level. I am your host, 𝘁rep𝗸𝗲, and I've been on a journey of personal development and self-mastery for 6 years now, and my mission is to inspire you to stand out and take action towards living your best life. In this podcast, I invite myself inside the minds of authors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs, exceptional people who will inspire you to improve your life and also give you actions you can take and implement. So, on my ongoing journey of the podcast, on Thursday's episodes, I now focus on consolidation. Repetition is the mother of all learning, as they say. So instead of adding more knowledge, I revisit the previous episodes and consolidate the wisdom imparted by my guests. In today's episode, the topic is meditation. And let me start by asking you, do you practice meditation? If not, I hope this podcast will give you the incentive to at least give it a try. If you do practice, are you consistent with it? Do you do it daily? How long do you do it for? For me personally, meditation has been one of the cornerstones of personal development, and it is one of the daily activities or daily habits that I will never miss. So today we will revisit 4 of the previous episodes, and my intention is to distill the wisdom of my guests on this topic of meditation. What are its effects? How to integrate it into our life? What about those moments of quote-unquote spiritual awakening? And even more, how can modern technology help with practicing meditation? And at the end of today's episode, you can actually experience a very unique 8-minute short meditation with a shamanic drum. I really hope that you will find something that clicks, something that inspires you to take action as a result. So my 4 guests that we will listen to today are 𝘁ส์_Edwards, Tiffany Nguyen, Dan Clark, and Eirini Kapsidou. And the first one we will listen to is 𝘁ส์_Edwards, who was featured on episode 81. 𝘁ส์_Edwards is a meditation teacher and a spiritual guide. And we will listen to him first describing these moments of spiritual awakening that one may experience during meditation.
But what happens is in those moments, one might have a fairly complete awakening. It can happen through, working with substance or ayahuasca or different, mind-altering substances. It can happen in deep meditations, in a 10-day Vipassana retreat, silent meditation. Mm-hmm. So yes, that can happen. But what often happens is one feels an exhilaration and a bliss that they go, oh my God, it's the oh my God moment. And then what they do is they try to maintain that or look for it again and again and again. And if it doesn't keep showing up in that same level of ecstasy, the feeling is, oh, I've lost it. And it's important to remember that moment of pure freedom, of going, oh, that's what I am. I am the pure I am consciousness. I'm already free. Oh, there's that. That moment of bliss is the human experience of the truth. But once the truth is realized and embodied, we don't walk around in a state of constant bliss. The beautiful things of 𝘁rep𝗸𝗆 and Mooji, they say the same thing. They're like, look, awakening is not an extraordinary thing. It's just you being you. So we end up just living then in this state of more normalized peace and presence. But I think a lot of people, they have an experience and then they look for that again and again and again and try to recreate it. And they feel like, oh, I've lost it. And indeed, kind of they have, because they're looking for the human experience of awakening rather than just letting the purity of consciousness be.
Awakening is not an extraordinary thing. It's just you being you. And let's also listen to another part of the conversation with 𝘁, where he discusses of how little by little meditation awakens us.
Because it's like coming out of a deep, 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 deep sleep. If literally you've been laying in bed sleeping and somebody comes up and kind of wakes you up for a second, smacks you upside the head and wakes you up, you may awaken for that moment and go, oh my God, wow, I had no idea that this world existed, this awake world. I was always in the dream. Mm-hmm. But you're groggy. You're not going to stay awake. So every meditation is an interruption of the habits of the mind. Every meditation is a new moment of being a little bit more awake. Mm-hmm. Then we fall asleep. We meditate again and we wake up again. And then we fall asleep and then we meditate again and we wake up again. And if one is doing a meditation that is geared toward actual self-realization, inquiry, who am I really? How do I come into the knowing of that? If that's what one's meditation is aligned with, then with repetition, discipline, devotion, that self will awaken. And then after a while, it'll stay awake. Just the same as if I kept, patting you on the cheek while you were asleep. After a while, you'd go, all right, fine. I'm awake.
Every meditation is an interruption of the habits of the mind. And we will listen to one more part of the episode with 𝘁, where he talked about the meditation of self-enquiry, a meditation that is designed to help one come into the knowing of their truth, of their eternal nature.
There's various types and purposes of meditation. The meditation that I teach and that I offer is a meditation of self-enquiry. So it's a meditation that is designed to help one come into the knowing of their truth, of their eternal nature. Mm-hmm. And so meditation really is a moment to stop and feel into what is the self beyond the mind. Prior to mind, beyond the mind. What is the self that isn't being thought? What is the self that just is and is always present? So meditation is the opportunity to stop and intentionally point one's awareness beyond the mind with the inquiry of what's there? Who am I when I'm not thinking myself into being with all my thoughts of worthiness and unworthiness and lovability and not lovability? If all that were to stop, even for 5 seconds, would I disappear? Or might there be something there that is called me? So meditation is an opportunity to interrupt the story of self and discover the self that doesn't need a story, that just already is.
And after all this, I think it's time to listen to something more practical. So here is 𝘁 describing a practical practice and how to integrate meditation into our waking life.
So take a moment, if anyone listening, and bring your awareness to the presence of your left foot. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
You didn't even have to look. You just intentionally stopped and said, I want to be aware of my left foot. And there it was. You didn't just grow a left foot.
Yeah.
So it was a moment. That was a meditation. to intentionally point one's awareness to something that is present, but simply typically not looked at, not felt into. Mm-hmm. So one of the meditation practices that I love, and in the gift that I've got for people, here is some of the guided meditations. One of them is a meditation about feeling into a self that feels good, a self that feels stable, a self that feels like it's not burdened by the ideas of self. And to give that a metaphor. So for me, when I first started this work, I felt into a redwood tree. We have these beautiful trees in California here in the United States that are called redwoods. They're just beautiful, giant, stable, majestic beings. And I would feel into that stability and that grace. And I'd feel into the feeling of, what if I was a redwood? What would that feel like? Oh, it'd feel like, hey, like a storm could come. And the redwood goes, okay, bring it on. I'm good. I'm fine. So I would feel into that. So how this relates to moments is, I would, throughout my day, and this is a practice that I invite, find a metaphor. I am an open meadow. I am a deep ocean. I am the clear sky. I'm a giant. I'm a stable redwood. Feel into something. Know what it feels like, and then throughout the day, what if you took 10 seconds at a time just to stop and take a breath? And just like we pointed the attention to the left foot, take a breath and point one's attention to the feeling of grace. Mm-hmm. 10 seconds. That's it. Great. There I am. Beautiful. And then go about your day. If one did that 20 times a day, that's 200 seconds. That's just over 3 minutes. And not only does it again, awaken the truth of self again and again and again and again, it rewires the brain. It rewires our sense of self. We interrupt the habit, the pattern of identifying with our construct of self, and allows us to feel into something that already feels whole and alive and strong and peaceful and loving. Do that 20 times a day. So a meditation can be a moment, it can be a breath, or it can be sitting for an hour, be sitting for 2 hours, or anything in between.
Mm-hmm. We will listen next to a snippet of the conversation with Tiffany Nguyen in episode 135. Tiffany is a spiritual life coach, and she talked about the effects of practicing meditation and when do these effects show. And especially, she said that they show the most clear when we are faced with really challenging situations, or even more when our life gets in chaos.
I guess sometimes when you can have like a very good experience in the beginning, like when your mind is already in chaos and suddenly it's like settled down. So it's good, like it's like a very noticeable thing. But after you practice for a while, you kind of don't have that kind of blissful, state of Zen. But for me, it's the effect is more subtle. So you will see it more when challenging time comes up. And if you keep up with the practice, you can see how, when that happens. So after I was in my practice for at least a year, and I was starting my job, and it was very stressful in retail. And also my family also was in chaos also. So everything was in chaos in my life. But even through that, there's that sense of peace. There is that sense of groundedness that is very palpable, that I can feel it. And I realized not everybody feel it. And it was all thanks to my practice of not losing myself. So the meditation practice really helped to increase the awareness and maintain that awareness. So, it's just like when you brush your teeth every day, it doesn't make a difference if you do it one day. But if you do it every single day, then it's really have a snowball effect. So just especially is the effect will show the most clear when challenging times comes out, when everything is in chaos and you don't lose that sense of self. And that's how my meditation practice helped. Yeah.
So far, we've listened to the benefits of meditation. The necessity, really, is the word I would use. But an interesting question to ask in the times that we live in is, can modern technology help with meditation? We will hear next a part from my conversation with Dan Clark on episode 130. Dan Clark is the CEO of Brain FM, an app that leverages neuroscience and leading technology to create functional music that helps people focus, relax, and sleep on demand. And if you are a regular listener, you will probably know that I have partnered with Brain FM to spread the word about their app because it's superb, it's outstanding. So, even though the main function of the app is to put you into a focused mental state, there are also other mental states that the app can help you tap into. So let's listen to Dan talking about how using Brain FM, especially for people who are experienced meditators, can help them slip into deep meditation quicker.
And meditation is really interesting because there's tons of apps that do meditation, right? So we don't believe it's our mission to teach you how to meditate. There's some great apps that do that, but users have found that when they already know the practice of meditating and they come into our app and they try it, they're able to slip into deep meditation way quicker. And if you think about it, it's because we're using the same kind of principles. So we understand the neural patterns of meditation. They're heavily studied. We're able to emulate that in these different patterns. And then people that have, they've learned how to ride the bike of meditation, so to speak, they're able to go extremely fast and deep because we're kind of the wind pushing their back while they're running towards it.
As my podcast listener, you have the opportunity to try Brain FM completely for free. And if you decide to use it, you will get a special 20% off. Go to brain.fm/Agi. That's BRAIN.FM/AGI. And from the cutting edge of technology, let's go to ancient shamanic drumming meditation with my fourth guest for today. Eirini Kapsidou, she was featured in episode 65. She came into contact with spirituality when she was 19, when she met a Siberian shaman. And she now leads spiritual events and organizes drum meditations and workshops on awakening femininity and the art of relationships. So we will listen to a part of that episode, which is a unique 8-minute short full meditation with a shamanic drum. So if you are able to sit down somewhere comfortably and close your eyes for this last part of the episode, go right ahead.
I wanted to offer today to our listeners a very short meditation with a drum. So this means that I'm going to be playing the drum and maybe singing. And I want us to connect through this with our heart. I want us to connect with our true heart, our true desires, our true wishes, and our true self, let's say, and to be able to understand and realize more and more what we want. So this will be just a very short meditation to do that, but we can start by this, and you can experience a bit what it means to do the drumming. So I'm holding my drum right now, and I would like you to close your eyes First of all, take some deep breaths. Relax where you are. You're probably sitting somewhere or standing. So you can, if you want, sit down and find a moment to do this. A moment for yourself where there will be no external influence. And I would like to ask you to put your hands on your heart, on your chest, in the area of your heart. And you can talk to your heart through the beating of the drum. And you can feel what your heart is telling you. Listen to your heart. Take deep breaths. Let all the stress out and just connect with who you are deep inside, your true inner self, an expression of a great divine power. if you want to move, you can move. You can move your body, your hands, your arms, your legs, your head. You can even stand up and start a small dance. Now, place again your palms on your chest, on your heart, and feel deep gratitude for who you are, for your life path so far. Deep gratitude. You have made it so far. You have been through difficult moments and beautiful moments. And this has made you who you are. You have learned so many things from life. Be grateful for this. And you can bow down a little bit your head if you want, as a sign of thankfulness to the universe, to this power that exists, to consciousness, or however you want to call it, to God, however you want to call it. And you can take a deep breath and slowly open your eyes when you're ready.
I hope you found something valuable among these parts of the conversations, and also something actionable, something you can implement yourself. If you enjoyed this episode, I certainly intend to do more of them to condense the wisdom contained in these conversations and distill it in a way into actionable items that you can pick up and implement in order to change and grow and improve your life. But I would like your help. Tell me, what is your biggest challenge? What kind of content would you like to hear? Go to personaldevelopmentmasterypodcast.com and send me a message. And a quick question before I go. Have you ever thought of having your own podcast, sharing your voice, making an impact, but you don't have the time or the computer skills to learn how to create and launch a podcast? If that resonates, then I have a solution for you. A solution that takes away all the complexity and allows you to concentrate only on creating your content. Go to my website, 𝘁repetidas.com, and get your free copy of my guide on how to create and launch your podcast in 7 simple steps. And until next time, stand out, don't fit in.